In the 25th century, Captain Rilana's pirate crew uncovered a strange artifact floating near an abandoned space station, a pristine 16th century tricorne hat encased in glass. It seemed an absurd find in the vastness of space, and yet its condition was flawless as though untouched by time. Curious, Rilana ordered her crew to retrieve it, believing they could sell it for a fortune on the black market. But as soon as the hat was brought aboard the Ravenous, strange occurrences began. The ship's systems faltered inexplicably. Doors opened and closed by themselves. Lights flickered at random intervals, and the usual comforting hum of the engines turned unsettling. Crew members started hearing whispers in the corridors. When no one else was around, soft, unintelligible murmurs that seemed to come from nowhere. At first, Rilana dismissed the stories as paranoia. They were pirates used to high-stakes raids and dangerous environments, after all. But the situation grew worse. One night, the ship's navigation system failed entirely, and the Ravenous veered dangerously close to a collapsing star. Rilana managed to regain control just in time, but the near disaster rattled everyone. The whispers became louder and more distinct. Crew members reported strange dreams and an overwhelming sense of being watched. Some began to show signs of paranoia, accusing one another of sabotage. And then the disappearances began. One by one, crew members vanished without a trace. There were no signs of struggle, no alarms triggered, no recordings of what happened. Each empty bunk left behind a growing sense of dread. Soon, the remaining crew begged Rilana to get rid of the hat, claiming it was the source of their troubles. Rilana herself began to feel the weight of it, the way it seemed to almost beckon her when she looked at it. Finally, she relented. Gathering the remaining crew, Rilana brought the hat to the airlock. They watched through the observation window as she jettisoned it into the void. For a brief moment they felt relief, but as they turned to leave, alarms blared. The airlock doors had malfunctioned, and the hat was back, now sitting alone on the airlock floor, its case shattered. The lights in the room flickered wildly. Rilana hesitated, but the hat suddenly lifted on its own and settled atop her head. She gasped as an ancient voice filled the ship, deep and echoing, "Balance must be restored." From that moment, chaos erupted. The corridors shifted, as though alive, sealing some crew members in rooms that should have been connected. The whispers turned to screams, and shadows danced like predators just out of sight. No one who tried to approach Rilana could get close. The hat seemed fused to her head, and her eyes glowed faintly as if she was no longer fully herself. When the lights failed completely, the ship fell silent. The Ravenous drifted aimlessly in the void, leaving behind only fragments of logs and recordings, frantic voices, desperate cries for help, and one final transmission from Rilana. To whoever finds this, you must not touch the hat. The tricorne, pristine and menacing, waits again, biding its time for the next unfortunate soul who will dare to disturb it. Like, comment, and subscribe for another YouTube short mystery.